and welcome to another episode of the Creepy Froggy vlog, in which we investigate and visit strange and peculiar places and phenomenon. Today we are in Grytjom, which is a village just north of Uppsala, between Uppsala and Gävle, Sweden. And we are here to look at an abandoned site, because the theme of this season is abandoned. So here we go. So the village we are going to look at today, or the abandoned site, is called Husbyborg. In 1334 to 1344, a king, King Magnus, he pawned this farm here, basically. It had mills, it had fishing areas and things like that. And in 1413, this farm is mentioned. This farm is also mentioned in other historical documents since then. So in this village in Husby, which is here, there are visible ruins after a church or farm chapel from the late 13th century or early 14th century, and this is called Husbyborg, and it's here, and we are parked here. And it's called Husbyborg, and at the beginning of the 17th century, a nobleman was given this village or this farm as his farm, and he built buildings here and renovated the church ruins and used it as a farmhouse, basically. And in 1691 this farm was pulled back and given to the crown, basically the state, and after that all the houses and buildings were left to basically fall to the ground, you know. Jag kommer! So we are basically here to have a picnic at these old ruins. The sign says church ruins. Yeah. So here it is, the church ruins. The outer measurements are 23.5 by 13.5 meters. And the entrance is central, and it's to the west. It's right next to the sign there, that's the entrance. And here is an old map from 1691 showing the ruins. And it's here mentioned as a cluster, this square here. So it was in ruins already by 1691. And the building technique, the mortar used, is a very high class compared to what normal people used back in the 17th century and earlier. So it's, a significant building. And this is the plan of the building. So judging by that, it is quite clear that this is a church. It's got a rectangular floor plan and a little extra room there for the priest to use. As you can see here, this is the entrance in the west, and the entrance is here. You can still see the slabs. So despite this building being of significant building material and building techniques, It is not sure whether or not this church was ever actually in use. There has been an archaeological excavation done here in 1971, but that didn't determine the exact age of this ruins. Some 20 coins from 1340 to 1350 were found in 4 different places inside the walls of the ruins. So that could help determine the date of this building. So that is the southern wall, and in this archaeological dig they found skeletons, burials inside this church right next to this wall. You can see here on the plan where they were found. This is from the archaeological dig. So the layout of these burials, they indicate that there was a church here before this one, the ruins of this one, because of the direction of the buried bodies. But they never found the remains of the older church in this archaeological dig. It could be because the older church was made of wood and would have, disappeared completely by now. In the archaeological dig they found burial goods from that, for example, a comb from the 1200s or 1300s. So one reason why this church, the stone church, was never in use could be because there was another church, parish church, built nearby around the same time, so this was never in use because of that. So here are some of the grave goods found with the skeletons that could help date the skeletons, the burials, and the older church which they belong to. So as I mentioned earlier, this church was probably never in use, and that's why it fell into ruins, because of another church being built nearby. It was never used as a church, but it was used as, an outhouse for the farmstead that was here. So you can see that the floor plan was slightly changed over time. But the time period of 1300 to 1600 is very much a big question mark regarding this church building. They don't really know what happened to it, what it was used for. So it's quite an interesting building, this. You can see the remnants of the old windows where they would have been, and that is the entrance over there.
I am the king of the world. Ah! Yeah. No. No.
So that is the western wall with the main entrance right over there. And then you have the southern wall here with the windows where they would have been. That is where the altar was then. And here is the doorway of the side room. Let's see. So there would have been a building like with small walls inside this room, this door. So I'm standing in the doorway of this little room, the side room. You can see remnants of walls inside this brush. So thank you for joining me in this episode of the Creepy Froggy vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.